My name is Bradley Greger, and I'm a professor in the School of Biological and Health Systems Engineering here at ASU. It's my pleasure to introduce Professor Abraham Lee from UC Irvine. Professor Lee's early career began at the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, where he was the group leader for microstructures in the Electronics Engineering Technologies Division. He then went on to be a program manager at DARPA in the Microsystems Technology Office. At DARPA, he started the Biofluidic Chips program as one of the 3 founding program managers of the newly formed Bioinfo Micro program, which coincidentally funded my postdoctoral work, so thank you, Dr. Lee. After his tenure at DARPA, he joined the National Cancer Institute, serving as a senior technology advisor. Currently, Dr. Lee is a professor in the Biomedical Engineering Department at UC Irvine, where he has also served as the department chair. His research has led to several startup companies, and he's an inventor on over 40 issued U.S. patents. His honors include being appointed as the editor-in-chief of the journal Lab on a Chip. He has been named a fellow of the National Academy of Inventors, the American Institute of Medical and Biological Engineering, and the American Society of Mechanical Engineers.
One of my favorite movies is The Chariots of Fire. That's a movie many of you know. Olympian and future missionary Eric Liddell was explaining as a Christian why he was still competing in the Olympics when many thought that that was a distraction to God's work. He said, and I quote, "I believe God made me for a purpose, but he also made me fast. And when I run, I feel his pleasure." Before his race, he was handed a note from 1 Samuel chapter 2, "Those who honor me, I will honor." I am inspired by this type of passion, instilled by God's calling, and most importantly, the privilege to feel God's pleasure. And I've experienced in my career that whenever my motivation is impure and I'm not in God's will, in his purpose, that I don't, that this pleasure is never being felt. As a PhD student, I had a lot of trouble, and in the first 3 years, I was struggling to get anything working. My research project was failing. My fellow students on the other hand, were very successful, and I saw them and I got anxious and jealous. But this time, God was good and had mercy. He gave me a strong sense that I needed to be aligned with him. So ever since then, I wanted to be true to myself, to really seek God's will. And he helped me stumble upon what he called me to do and how he wanted me to do research. And so this is really fulfilling the passage that I was reading, "Delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart." The Holy Spirit really speaks to us researchers, engineers, and helps us to find this purpose and help us to feel his pleasure. As an engineer, I'm always looking to invent. God helped me and know that he designed me, prepared me, and uniquely made me so that I'm curious, easily bored, and always thinking of new ways to do things. I think the incubation period, the time when I'm really struggling to come up with ideas, actually is when I'm happiest. To prepare for this story, I thought about God, why God is pleased when we fulfill his purpose. Liddell said, God made him for a purpose, but he also made him fast. And today's topic is integrating faith and science. Perhaps we should focus on not integrating, but on fulfilling God's purpose and for us to feel his pleasure. As a bioengineer, I get a chance to work with life's inward parts instead of lifeless components, according to Psalm 139. And my recent work is on microfluidic precision medicine, and I work with the body's immune system to try to treat and work with God's ultimate engineered creation, the human body. When you work on a puzzle, when you see it completed, it's really a very sense of awe. The same thing goes for research. When it actually works, it is done. That feeling that God had is felt by researchers and scientists when they complete their research.